Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Backpack Trader Trading Room. Crude oil inventory report for Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not financial advice. Trade your charts, not mine. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and can only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. Okay. This report just came out. So far, that's our. Did have a little bit of a range there this morning. Not huge, but got something to work with. Short trade has gone too far, so we will leave that one alone. We've got to wait a couple of minutes and see where we are. 2 minutes in. We're a little bit over a minute in as we stand. Another 35 seconds. Would have jumped out of that unleaded trade nicely profitable. Probably not enough to get us positive, but it would certainly have cut the loss today significantly. And there is a new trade that I would get in sync with that one. And we are in our time, so put in a buy order there. Stop is down here at 24. 2 ticks below the session low, so that's actually a good place. Trade has not triggered in yet. That's also the stop of the short trade. Now the short trade has moved down, stop has moved down. But we are not going to be in that short trade at all. And I'm not going to take that trade on the 377 tick counterpunch chart. That was right at the release of the report. So that's going to be a reaction driven trade. Unleaded flat now. It came down. We'd have stopped out just below target 2 on the second position. And I certainly would not have taken the short trade just 5 minutes before the crude report. All right, the earlier trade did stop out, but we did cancel the long trade. So we are flat. All right, nothing happening. Long trade cancel or short trade stopped out. We have a possible short on the 377 tick counterpunch chart. Little trade. Money management's down beyond target 2. So our actual target will be target 3. And we have a short on unleaded. There's a new long on Spotlight Crude at 51. Same stop level, 24. All right. Short trade has canceled on The 377 tick counterpunch. Unleaded is in the short. Crude time to push up through the 50 EMA. Set a new session low at 65.26. Right, into a short on the 377 tick. 377 tick is in short. You got a potential long. Yeah. Same situation. Money management is a tick below target 2, so target 3 will be our actionable target. Unleaded trying to reach down for money management. Crude trying to push up. Nice double bottom formation. See if it can push up, push higher. One, two, three. Fairly significantly rejected a couple of times there at the session, right around the session low. We got pushed it down a couple of ticks. Then came down to the 28 again, bounced up. So the 50 is providing resistance. The session low is providing support. So we'll see which one wins. Long trade is still valid. And we have a long setup to stop and reverse on the 377. We reverse by stop and entry there. Since the entry is the full stop out. And we do get into the long spotlight crude. Targets 1 and 2 are our objectives here. Target 1 just above the original reaction range. We got just a few ticks below the reaction range initially. Now we're trying to push up toward the top of it. Trying to push through the 50 EMA. We did stop and reverse to long on the 377. And now we have a potential stop and reverse to back to short at 42. Long with a potential stop and reverse at 42. Still short on unleaded. Long on spotlight crudes. Long and not long anymore. They're now short on the 377 tick. That did stop and reverse. This time money management is up higher, and target 2 is our objective. Back to the entry on unleaded. Testing the 20 SMA on the downside. Looks like it's rejected there. And going up again. So back and forth. The 377 tick is getting caught up in the noise. Probably would have been, it wouldn't have made any difference. We'd have still got ticked in on the entry if we'd have moved it above the 50. It spiked up to 55, it looks like. Actually, yeah, we need to move the money management down to 32. 10 tick minimum. And there's money management. So now we do come to 41. And we get target and trailing now at 36. Lots of heat on, and we pick up target 2 on the short on unleaded. So unleaded is going to be a one and done. Targets 1 and 2 there. Looks like it's going to stop out at break even. Yep. And we did stay in the long trade. This counterpunch trade did stop out at 33. We'll need to take another trade there. We had a couple of losses. Now the question is, what's going to happen? You got down as low as 25, but stop at 24 on Spotlight. So we're long on Spotlight, long on Crude and Spotlight. All right. So unleaded is done. 377 tick counterpunch needs another trade to get positive. At least one more. And we have a still in the long trade on Spotlight Crude. Bouncing off the session, moving the session low down a tick and then bouncing off the quarter, bouncing hard off the quarter. Let's see if it can push on up through, now crossing through the 20 SMA. And it's got to work up through the 50. Failing to get up meaningfully through the 20 SMA on Crude, Spotlight Crude. Let's set up on, there's a long setup on the 377 at 65.42. Nope, we'll go to target 3 again. Money management at 52. And we get a close above the 20 SMA now. Another close above and pushing up to the 50 EMA. So we are long on the 377, testing the 50 EMA on the 8-tick range bar, 8-tick momentum, 8-cent momentum bar on Spotlight. Testing the 200 EMA on the 377-tick counterpunch. And 50 EMA looks like it's holding for the moment. This breaks up through the 50. I think we got a good chance because that's a triple bottom. Not really a head and shoulders. Or if it is, it's a really rough one. I think the 50 EMA is going to be the critical critical thing for it to have to push through. $377's got to go up to the 200, which it just poked up through. Let's see if it can close. Yes, there's a close above the 200 EMA on the 377 tick. Counterpunch. Lower left. And there's a move through the 50 EMA. Second excursion above it. Now let's see if we can get a close above. Very slightly down trend line across the lower lows on Spotlight. Oh, let's see, one tick from money management on the 377. There's money management. And we start trailing immediately, trailing at 44. And quickly up to 47. 48. Do we get almost got to close above the 50 on the Spotlight Crude. Pulling back to the 50 EMA, so we didn't get a close on Spotlight. And we get target and stop out on the trailer at 49 on 377. That might be enough to get us positive. It's going to get us really close. So that will be the last trade I follow there. We'll see what the Spotlight chart does for us. And we hit close below the 50 and going down again a little bit, down to 65.40. And we have a stop and reverse at 32. Possible long time, not going to follow those trades on 377. It's a little bitty short trade. It looks like it's going to track it. So we'll have to track the long manually if it stays in. Not much going on. We'll have to see what it does. Touched the stop. Didn't fill. And there it did. All right. Targets 2 and 3 this time. Small. $51 to $32. We lost 28 ticks on that. 38 ticks on that. 19 times 2 positions. We're actually past 11 o'clock. So I would actually call that an 11 o'clock mini session. And we take a losing session, 38 ticks. On the crude inventory report, I'll go ahead and follow this trade. Actually, we need to go down to 22 with that, which is target and money management at 65.22. Our stop and reverse adjustment also moves down our money management because we do have a 10 tick minimum on crude. Crude looks like it's going into consolidation after that down move. You have a couple of swings to 55 on the upside, so that's showing some resistance, and that's up right up above the 50 EMA. This will be our last trade that I follow this morning. See what it does one way or the other. There's your move down, going through both targets. So that's one and done on the 11 o'clock mini session. So that picks up 10 and 15, 25, net minus 13. So if you're still treating that as a crude session, we could take one more trade. But as slow as this is moving, I wouldn't do that. Let it see if this stops out. And it does stop out. So that would end the 11 a.m. session. at 31. So that ends our crude oil inventory report session. Questions or comments? Nothing else to look at for trades. All right, nobody is putting anything in chat, so I'm going to assume that everybody is fine, and we will call it a morning. Everybody have a good one, and we will see you tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern. Have a good day.